Alright guys, today I'll be reviewing the Timex Q now that the hype is dead and explaining why I don't really like it at all and why I'm ultimately flipping it. Before I carry on, quick wrist check. It is the Seiko Saab 035 and this is some gorgeous lighting on the original bracelet. This is a forever keeper and I can't say the same about this Timex Q here. I've got a Casio next to it for good reason and I'll explain why shortly. But yeah, to give some context, I'm a bit of a self-proclaimed watch guy and I'm also an anti-fashion watch guy. And this, in my mind, is a fashion watch, unfortunately. For those who don't know what a fashion watch is, it's a cheap battery-powered watch, also known as a quartz watch, that focuses on design and sometimes has a fancy logo on it. And it's just overpriced for what it is. So personally, as a guy who puts a lot of weight and value, I can't get behind a Timex Q or fashion watches in general. Now, we'll start this off with a statement. Timex basically finessed the watch nerds. They pulled a fast one, and I personally feel duped. I'm going to put it on and explain more about how Timex found a loophole around the overthinking minds of watch guys and watch gals through two things: nostalgia mainly, but also marketing. They essentially ignored the moving trends towards affordable materials like sapphire, crystal, ceramic bezels that you can find for watches under £1,000, and instead they chose to use nostalgia as an excuse to use the exact same materials as they did in the 70s. So it's very cheaply made. I'll just go towards the specs for a second. This crystal will scratch like a magnet. It will shatter if you drop it because it's acrylic crystal like the one on vintage watches. Shouldn't be so harsh, that bracelet then. But the bracelet's fine. It's all stainless steel. It's obviously quartz and it's got an old school insert for a coin here, so you can change the quartz quite easily. But yeah, it just feels unbelievably cheap in the hand. It feels like a Casio, which is this Casio I got for £15 and this I got for 150, so literally 10 times the price, and people swap this Timex bracelet out for this Casio bracelet. So one of the big gripes is for a £150 watch, you'd like a substantial bracelet, at least not one that's can be found basically on a Casio. That's you might recognize this system from a Casio. So essentially it's got a £15 watches bracelet, and the materials on the watch: acrylic crystal, quartz. This bezel doesn't click. It's unidirectional. Sorry, it's bidirectional instead of unidirectional, even though it's a dive style watch. It's quite stiff. I've not used it much, so it probably explains why it's so stiff. And it looks like a GMT watch. I kind of fell for the Pepsi GMT, which I'll never get. So I got this as a fun alternative, but it had no charm on me. I hate the fact it's not a real GMT watch. It doesn't wind, obviously, because it's quartz and it's got that silly red second hand that makes it look overly childlike. And yeah, I don't fall for the charm at all. I know a lot of people have, and that's great for them, but I didn't. I wanted to. I was open-minded, but ultimately I'm going to sell this watch lightly worn because it just doesn't jive with me. I'd much rather have a £15 Casio on my wrist if I'm going to go quartz, just grab and go watch and just put my Casio on now. But yeah, I was finessed, and I think the watch industry was finessed too, unfortunately. But let me know what your experience is. Maybe you had a much positive experience compared to mine. Personally, I'm flipping this. Do you know anyone who has a positive experience long term with the Timex Q? Because I don't know anyone, but Instagram seems to love it. So let me know what your experience is. Let me know what your thoughts are as well. Did you fall for the hype? And do you think there's anything behind the hype? Let me know. Thanks. Bye.